Go. Hi, Eleanor Murky again with Merck Resource as we talk about our monthly gratitude conversation. And today I'm very pleased and happy to have Patricia Brown with me, an exciting life coach with quite an experience. Let me have you introduce. Hi, Patricia, how are you?
I'm well, Eleanor. Thank you.
Good.
Uh,
And could I have you tell us a little bit about you? Introduce yourself.
well, my name is Patricia Brown. I am a mother. I am a book author. I am also an advocate for Black women going through menopause and women going through breast cancer. So that's pretty much what I do.
Okay, and you have the support groups and conversations with women, and then a little your pink. I know the pandemic has put a little damper on it, but your pink parties.
Yes, every year in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, um, we throw pink parties for those women who are surviving or those women who are currently going through breast cancer or any other cancer. Um, we celebrate them. Everyone dresses up. It's as if you're going to a prom.
Hmm.
And we enjoy a wonderful meal together. We have a live DJ, and we just embrace one another and embrace the fact that we were able to survive and we're able to
Right,
be
we'll still.
alive in order to do so.
Yes, yes, and I thought about that. Talking about gratitude for me, it's something that I feel deeply in my spirit, and I was looking at ways to continue to have these conversations with other people who have gone through something, experienced an event or a change in life,
Hmm.
and how we're discovering gratitude, how being thankful, and how we can emerge our bodies and minds in gratitude
Hmm.
that would help us move through our challenges. So when I was thinking about that, Patricia, I thought about you and your experiences and your challenges. And I don't know how, and I never want to experience it to go through a life changing experience as breast cancer, and then some other challenges raising children and having experiences. So, wanted you just to talk a little bit today about your experiences and the role of gratitude in those experiences.
Well, in those experiences, you definitely have to be strong, and you definitely have to have faith. um, Me, at the age of 36, going through breast cancer
Hmm.
was, I mean, it was like unreal. At that time in my life, I was a married woman. I had three beautiful children, and to be going through such a traumatic experience within my health, I never thought that would occur because I was an athlete most of my life. Um, so to go through this, and then as a child, you see your mother go through her health issues. You assume, I'm gonna do better, but the will turned the other way for me. But I got through it. However, um, going through the chemo was where I really began to understand Thanksgiving. Um, that is a time you don't know if you're going to make it through or not. To see all these young women and men going through it that were in the clinic that I was in at the time in Connecticut, it was traumatizing
Hmm.
because they were older. A lot of them were older than me. I may have seen maybe one or two young girls, but um, I just had to look inside and just, you know, really just talk to God and say, you created me in your image, and I know you wouldn't put more on me than I can bear. And in that is like, I learned that in order to get through things in life, I had to just depend on God. I couldn't depend on
Mhm.
my husband at the time. I couldn't depend on my kids at the time. I couldn't even depend on those who were around me. I had to literally depend on God. And after going through it, I believe I did 6 months of chemo. I didn't have to do radiation, and come to find out, I believe, let me think, I went through it. I think I was done in April of 2010. And then I moved from Connecticut to Rochester. And I went and had my checkup. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. And I met with a new doctor. And what she said to me was, did you not understand that you had a very aggressive cancer, and you didn't do radiation? I said, no, I didn't do radiation. And she kept asking me why. I said, because the doctor at the time told me I didn't need to. So she told me how huge the tumor was. It was 5 centimeters, which is pretty huge the way she
Mhm.
described it. And she said, you've been in remission. At that time, it was 8 years.
Mhm.
And so she was like, congratulations. You're one of the lucky ones. And I said, what does that mean? She said, usually it comes back in 5 years. And so I looked at her and I gently said, no, I'm one of the blessed ones, because, um, I hear you. Luck doesn't work for me. To go through that and come out 11 years this year, and be everything is normal and everything is good, that's something to really be thankful for and have gratitude towards. So I have so much gratitude toward those women who go through it and make it through, and I even be around the ones who don't make it through, to
Mhm.
pull them to that place of happiness. um
Uh-huh.
and it's tough. That's a tough thing, but I look at myself and I say, that could have been me. That could have been me preparing to leave here. But
Mhm.
but God rendered me life, and I'm still here for that purpose. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Um and also I had a recent event, maybe 4 weeks ago. My son went in um for an exam, an MRI, and it came back that they found a tumor on his kidney. And as a mother, you're very sensitive. We're sensitive when it comes to our children. So my heart was heavy. But I said, you know what? The same God who brought me through, I know he could bring my son through. So I prayed and I asked God, just, take him through this. And I pray that there's nothing there. That was my prayer. I said, I'm really that crazy to believe that when they go in, they're not going to find anything. And I believe it was on the 28th of December, we went in, and
Mhm.
I left out of the procedure room and left him in there, and they took him on into surgery. Maybe 30 minutes, I got a phone call. I was in the parking lot waiting, and they said there was no tumor there.
Oh wow.
So they had to close them right back up.
Mhm.
I could come get them within another maybe 15, 20 minutes, and you could take them on home. So I had to sit in the car for at least a good 15 minutes and just cry gratitude all the way. Just
Right.
cry and be thankful, that, it was a blessing, um,
Uh-huh.
that he didn't have to go through that process.
Wonderful, wonderful. And one of the things when you were going back talking about your experience, and your sons, but just going back to yours, you sort of capsulated it.
Mhm.
Um, but one of the things in previous conversations that we had was the focus. You were talking about the experience with the breast cancer, the fear, but also the things that we call them gratitude or things, but the positive things that you cling to, that gives you the reason for the journey
Mhm.
and to take you through, where you're not just giving up, that there's things that help you
Mhm.
to move through the most excruciating circumstances. If you can share some of that.
Um most of the time when I was going through a lot of these things and situations in my life, I tend to set up a schedule for myself to spend time with myself in reading, in journaling, stenciling. Um, Let me see. I did a variety of things. I did crossword puzzles,
Hmm.
anything to keep the mind stimulated. And at the time, I had to really dig deep into crossword puzzles because I had lost a lot of cognitive after coming through treatment, meaning my reading skills were not up to par as they were before I went into treatment. So I kind of struggled in my speech, I struggled in my memory, and I still sometimes struggle, but not as I did then. So what I do is I journal a lot. Um, I sit quietly and I meditate and I do breathing, um, deep breathing to the point where I follow my breath accordingly in order to allow my body to heal and recover. And you bring all that negative energy through your breath. So I mastered those things through martial arts, which I was a martial artist before I went into treatment. And so I was trained and everything. So that is one of the things I focused on was quiet, just sitting quietly, a candle, light a candle and just, meditate on the good things, the positive things. Um, and just keep it moving, sewing into other people's lives, turning the attention off myself and putting it on other people was also one of the things that helped me 100% to recover.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you're there because that's where I wanted to go. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a positive thing, and it's one of refocusing and not uh, focusing on or harping on the situation. The
Mhm.
ability to move your mind and to move your attention away from this drastic negative experience you can have, or some people may call it a negative experience. I mean, you still went through a very difficult time, but it was something that you were able to capture, have taken care of, and now you're past the time that people normally would set, like 5 years is the limit for this particular thing, like your doctor said.
Mhm.
But one of the things when we talk about Thanksgiving gratitude, it's also the practice, and you were giving some of the things that we do in practice, journaling, uh, other works that we do that bring in the shifting of
Mhm.
our minds and body, because we've heard a lot and read a lot about how when you're thankful and start um, in your mind or wherever,
Mhm.
blessing or being very, very thankful for every part of you, the physical body.
Yes.
as we're thankful for each organ, each tissue,
Oh, yes.
each limb, um, how that creates a change. They say that this thing of thanksgiving and gratitude can
Yes.
really create physical change in the body and
Hmm.
in the mind, that you utilize your mind and thought process to take you to another place while you were going through this. And
Yes.
I don't know whether you recall any of that that you can share, because I saw in my mind's eye when you were talking, um, how these activities of yours, how this refocusing
Hmm.
begin to melt away or move away the challenge that you were going through and facing.
Well, it for it definitely moved me to another place because when you go through uh,
Excuse
such
me, Pat, and can you, your mic, I'm having a
oh,
little difficult time hearing you.
could you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. When you go through these traumatic situations, um, it's like you automatically become a new person because you can't go back to being that old person anymore.
Because
You
it's
know what
gone.
I mean? Because
Hmm.
once you start losing, parts, your hair and all this other stuff, you're not that person you were previously.
Hmm.
So in the midst of that, I had to learn to reinvent myself for the better cause, for the example, for women, the womenhood, the sisterhood,
Hmm.
to let them know that they can get through this.
To go through. Any other, aspects of those, and how you, with that attitude, of, do you think your attitude and how affects those around you, like your son, for instance, and how we can not only bless ourselves, but how we do for those we love? And
Okay.
yeah.
Well, my kids, I've always tried to be an example for them or to them, since they were kids and they saw everything I've been through. And I show them, after you get through these things, you
Hmm.
just have to continue to have faith and you have to continue to take care of your body,
Hmm.
exercise, you eat healthy, um, maintain a positive outlook on things, even when it don't look good. Because it's not going to help anyway. And I learned that in thinking positive and being positive causes positive effects within our bodies. So if I'm thinking negative, if I'm thinking the bad or the worst, that may happen. But if I'm thinking the good and I'm just tapping into faith and understanding that healing does exist, um, that I believe that's when the good comes out.
Yes, and and I like that we uh, change, and it's not even change, but the evolving of that positive attitude, which is connected to the gratitude and being thankful, because when you have the positive,
Mm-hmm.
that's the other, the negative fall away. And when we talk about things melting away from us, and healing and this whole grateful spirit, it comes down to a positive, attitude. And
Yes.
as we know in other studyings, in our other study, um, track, like the attraction of the thing, like our law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You get this um, positive attitude. You begin to focus on the things that you are grateful for, the things that you love, the things that you like to see. I mean,
Mhm.
this a sunrise or a sunset,
Oh yeah.
uh, just the beautiful
And
greenery that you might see in the park or your lawn. Um, that begins to attract things that, because you can't do two at one time. You can't be positive and negative at the same
negative,
time,
right.
and you can't be grateful and ungrateful at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I'm hearing your story, but I'm seeing this coming together of the um, just the positive mindset that leads to the faith in the positive outcome that you want in the
Oh yeah.
in the
And Eleanor, that you're absolutely right. When you said, when you see the sunset, when you see, I'm one of them people now in my life. When I see snowflakes, when I see the rain, when I see but I am a sun girl. I do like the sun,
mhm.
but it's the little things now. Your thinking tends to change when you're grateful. Um,
Mhm.
you're not so into trying to impress. It's more about
Another good point.
um, I'm thankful for the moment, living in the moment, and able to actually be able to touch, to smell, to feel, to hear, to see. Is the little things. My legs are working well. My hands are working well. I can do a lot of things that a lot of people can't do. And so I'm so grateful. I have food on the table. I'm blessed. I'm just thankful. The Looking at the beautiful grass is just beautiful. Other people will look at it and say it's just grass.
It's just grass.
you know that's because a lot of people haven't experienced anything to be grateful. It's in the little things. That's what I tried to teach my kids. It's not about all this excessive stuff, because it's just
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my father taught me a long time ago, as a little girl, um, when the sun comes up, be thankful for what you have. And that's
And there you
life.
are.
you
Mm-hmm.
know that's life. And then in life, those things around you become alive. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I like that you sow Thanksgiving into others by appreciating them and helping them, like you were talking about the pink party,
Oh
that
yeah.
you came up with people who have survived this. Let's dress up. Let's have fun.
Hmm.
Let's celebrate each other. So that's a key point. When we talk about gratitude, Thanksgiving, positive uh, beliefs and thinking. That's what it's all about. That's what uh, happened with me. That's why I wanted to share it, talk to um, many people as I can
Hmm.
about it, because Patricia, you just said it. We are a lot of times experiencing it and
Hmm.
not even realizing it.
Yeah.
We're looking at the short side of the stick, or the short side of the glass of water. We're not looking at the half full. We're looking at almost empty.
Yes.
And that's what I hope in these conversations, that we lift up and not look always at the almost empty, you
Yeah.
know, the almost this or this didn't happen. I'm telling you, if you in a situation, just having, we as a people, our ancestors
Hmm.
always knew how to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So when we have that foundation, that we can always make it, we can always survive,
Yes.
but we have to look around and see what pieces there that we can be thankful for, that we can thankful for, that we can pull and make something out of it.
Oh yeah.
Um, like even people laugh about dandelions. They mess up grass, but our folks used to pick them out and make greens out of them and
Yeah.
use the pot liquor from them. So there's a lot um, when we look at life to
Yes.
be to get more in a spirit of Thanksgiving, a spirit of positively
Yes.
seeing things. And, just wanted you to, I mean, I was just, when we met in our coaching class, and
Hmm.
then later, when you shared your story
Hmm.
and talking about your son. And I thought I brought it around because I don't know whether people how well you can see this. This is one of Patricia's books, and it's very when you say inspiration, it's inspirational, and that's why I wanted to talk. And it's a book of poems, but they um, tell a story,
Yeah.
and all through here, it's a story of wonderful survival and gratitude and appreciation for life.
Oh yeah.
So I really thank you for taking. I know you had a really busy schedule today, but
Yeah.
I'm really glad you took the opportunity to talk, um, with me
Oh yes.
in this series that I'm trying to have each month to talk about something gratitude, something positive, but just to let us know, hey, we're more than what you see on the surface.
Oh
Any
yeah.
closing comments?
Oh yeah. Um, just pertaining to the book. I wrote the book in college, and when you do read it with an open heart because it's really cultural. And a lot of people who have read it don't understand it because
Yeah.
they're like, what? So when you do read the book, read it with an open heart, put yourself in the book and get an idea of the inspiration within it.
How can people get a copy of your book?
You could go on to Amazon and just type in A Woman's Inspiration by Patricia Brown and it'll pop right up.
Okay, and then your women menopause. You have a site. You have a
Oh,
Facebook page on that.
yes. You just go on Facebook and you type in Black women going through menopause, and it should pop right up as well. And I have videos there where we're talking about the health of Black women, what we go through
Yes.
in our health that has been secretive for years. And I think, and then it's other things. It's things on relationships and children. We talk about a little bit of everything.
And food, yeah, and some beautiful fresh gardening kind of fresh vegetables and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you. My little cell phone got into the conversation with us, but again, the conversation, monthly conversations with Merck Resource. You can go to Merck Resource Facebook, Merck Resource. Not no S, just Merck Resource, or our website. And if you want to see any of the other uh, conversations, they'll be on YouTube soon. So when you go to YouTube, put Merck Resource. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day, and
Yes.
just have a wonderful time and a wonderful life as we begin 2021.
Bye.
Bye bye.